Hey, what's good, y'all? This is Major from InfamousTechBlog.com. You're looking at the Motorola Devour, which is the newest Android smartphone available on Verizon Wireless. Even though right now it is not available there yet, you can grab this through Best Buy, and I think Walmart, and there's a few other select retailers, who already have access and are selling the device, and it's priced at $99.99. Expect that price to stay the same when it does make its debut on Verizon Wireless, which should be March 15th from everything that I've seen and read so far. Motorola is keeping it kind of, similar to the big Droid or the original Droid, and this is kind of like the little brother, to the Motorola Droid. They're sticking with the round, the square, square edges, rugged design. The phone is mostly aluminum, so it's got a real heavy, solid weight to it, and they keep, going with that heavy Chevy approach, for their Verizon Droid devices, and I'm not mad at it. I kind of like the design. This is a full QWERTY slider, which is, another similarity between this and the regular Motorola Droid. I actually like this keyboard a lot better than the keyboard on the, the original Droid. These keys are more raised. It's a little bit of a difference here because they did dedicate the whole top row to all numeric. So you will find yourself having to use the function key a little bit more, but once you get used to it, it's actually, pretty easy to type on. So no big complaints there. Another change is down here. You've got the optical swipe pad, which you can use a little bit. And honestly, I'll be honest, I don't really care for it. You see, that's how it actually works there. But I've kind of found it to be a little bit sluggish sometimes. Just, really ain't that crazy about it, but it is there nonetheless. You also got the 3 other Android buttons here. You've got menu, home, and back. The screen is 3.1 inch HVGA display. 320 by 480 is the resolution, and it's pretty bright. Not a bad looking display. 3.1 is a little small, especially when you're compare it to the Motorola Droid, which had 3.7, and I mean, really that display is still probably one of the best, if not the best, on the market. And you see here, you've kind of got this wasted space. You've got the Android buttons there, but then here you've got all this black area that could have been utilized, and they really didn't. So that's to me 3.1 is a little on the small side. I like at least 3.5 on most smartphones, but it is a decent display and it's fairly responsive. The phone also ships with 8 gigabytes of memory, so you got decent storage right out of the box. It will go all the way up to 32 if you want to go that route. 3 megapixel camera, which is over here around the back. Let's go ahead and take a rest of the tour. You got the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack right up here at the top. You got your screen lock and power off button. And let's go ahead and rotate it over. You got your volume rockers. Also here you got a dedicated camera button, and you got your Motorola with Moto Blur across the back, Verizon branding right there. Over here, this actually slides down and would that's where you access your battery. Then you've got your micro USB charger port, and you see here, I mean, it's pretty much, it's all silver, but you got the black rubber accents. So I think it's a pretty good looking phone. Phone quality on the device is pretty decent too. I thought it was loud enough. Wasn't the best sounding handset that I've used, but is definitely above average. The phone's rocking an MSM 7627 processor with 512 megabytes of ROM and 256 megabytes of RAM. So it's pretty quick. I mean, I really can't knock the device as far as its speed at all. It falls probably somewhere in between the Droid and the Droid Ares. I think it's faster than the Ares. Definitely not as fast as the Droid, but this is the same processor that's found in the Palm Pixie Plus, which that was a pretty quick and responsive device too. So all in all, man, I like the design. Some people complain about the thickness, but I thought to get a full QWERTY keyboard with raised keys and get it at 0.6 or 6/10 of an inch, it's actually not too bad, man. So I'm not mad at Motorola. I like the design. The industrial look definitely works for me, but let's go ahead and keep it moving and get into the software. This is running Android 1.6 with Moto Blur, and that is definitely one of the big selling points of this device is Moto Blur, which is Motorola's, user interface, which gives you see here we got 5 panels or 5 home screens that you can customize and add widgets to. Kind of similar to HTC Sense interface, but what MotoBlur really focuses on is the ability to tie in all your different, social media applications like Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, and you can really tie it in and kind of create like just a one-stop spot to kind of keep up with, all your different people on the different social networks. So you see here, if I open that up, I can go ahead and scroll through, my various status updates from people that I follow or people that I'm connected to. Over here, this is actually tied right into, my Gmail account. And then, if you go here, press and hold, you can go to widgets, and you've got the different widgets. You got the happenings widget. There's a status update widget, which, would show your most recent status update. And, it's kind of cool. I see what they're going for. To me, I kind of minimized it. First off, when you first get the phone, all of that is right here, taking up your, the main portion of your home screen. And to me, it gets a little bit busy. You've got, all these different, widgets, and they're all displaying, different pieces of information. So to me, it was a little bit much. I went ahead and removed it from the home screen and went ahead and added it to the second tab. And then, I got rid of the status widget because to me, it was having trouble staying up to date. When I was updating, my Twitter status from different applications, this wasn't really picking up on it. So to me, I kind of found that, not to be too useful. But all in all, I can kind of see what MotoBlur was gunning for. You may like it, you may love it, or there's, maybe parts of it that you kind of, get turned off by. But, either way, it's, Motorola's attempt at it. And you just kind of got to check it out for yourself to, see how you feel. Also, too, since this is an Android phone, of course, you've got Gmail. You've got the Android Market messaging here. I'll let you take a look at that. You see you've got your universal inbox, Twitter, text messaging, and then whatever other, email accounts you have set up. This does support Exchange as well. SMS messaging is threaded SMS. So that works pretty cool, works pretty well. This phone, one of the other big pluses that even though it's only Android 1.6, this phone does come with Google Maps with navigation. So, that, actually works real well. I've been able to use it a couple times. You see here, there's your, navigate icon, and, works just as well. Maybe just a pinch slower than it is on the Droid, but all in all, works nicely. The widgets on this phone, I'm not as crazy about as the widgets that HTC has. I mean, some of Motorola's, out of the box widgets just to me seem just, a tad bit less polished than some of HTC's, but all in all, it's pretty good. The Android Market is actually the newer market. This looks more like the market that you'll find on the Motorola Droid instead of the Android Market that you'll find on like the Droid Aris, which is, a little more outdated looking. I definitely, like this market as far as searching and navigating a lot better than the old one. So, software is decent. It really comes down to how you feel about MotoBlur. But, give it a try and, check it out. And let's go ahead and move into the multimedia and see how this phone holds up there.